Hello everyone. Today I am here to discuss about a very important topic in manufacturing process. It is called heat treatment process. So basically I will be discussing about all the heat treatment process. What are the various heat treatment process? What is the use of heat treatment process in this slide? So let's get started. My topic is heat treatment process, and I will be dealing with heat treatment process, application of heat treatment process, and what are the various heat treatment process like annealing, normalizing, tempering, quenching, and various. First let me explain you what is heat treatment process. So basically heat treatment process is a series of operation involving the heating and cooling of metal in the solid state. Okay, so what we do is that we once at a time we heat the metal, and then in a fraction of second only we make it cool, so that we improve its mechanical property, we improve its internal stress which is generated can be reduced in this process. So its purpose is to change a mechanical property or combination of mechanical properties so that the metal will be more useful, serviceable, and safe for definite purpose, and also it is long lasting material. Okay, by heat treatment metal can be made harder. As I already said, it is more harder, it becomes more stronger and more resistance to impact. Okay, heat treatment can also make a metal softer and more ductile. Okay, next is, no one heat treatment operation can produce all of these characteristics. It is a combination of process. So one process is not enough to make any metal heat treatment. In fact, some properties are often improved at the expense of others. In being hardened, for example, a metal may become brittle. Okay, so one operation is not sufficient to make a metal heat treatment. We have to perform certain range of operation to make a metal stronger, harder, and more ductile. Okay, so what are the types of heat treatment process? Those are annealing process, normalizing process, quenching or hardening process, tempering process, surface hardening process, case hardening process, then os tempering process, mark quenching process, and os forming process. Okay, so first of all let us discuss what is annealing process. Annealing is the process of softening material or to bring about required changes in properties such as machinability, mechanical or electrical property, or dimensional stability. Okay, the annealing process consists of heating the steel to or near the critical temperature. What is critical temperature? Critical temperature is the temperature at which crystalline phase change only. Okay, to make it suitable for fabrication. Okay, a material can be annealed by heating it to a specific temperature and then letting the material slowly cool to room temperature in a oven. Okay, when a annealed part is allowed to cool in the furnace, it is called as full annealing heat treatment process. Okay, next is your normalizing process. What is normalizing process? Normalizing is a type of heat treatment application applicable to ferrous metal only. It is only applicable to ferrous metal normalizing process. It differs from annealing in that the metal is heated to a higher temperature and then removed from the furnace for air cooling. So what we do is that in annealing process, what we do is that we heat it for a certain temperature, and after heating that we cool it in various medium like water, oil solution, brine solution, and all. But in normalizing, what we do is that we cool it in atmosphere temperature like 25 degrees centigrade, which is the normal atmospheric room temperature. Okay, The purpose of normalizing is to remove the internal stress, okay, to remove the internal stress induced by heat treating, welding, casting, forging, forming or machining. These are the various operation. After this operation there are certain internal stress generated in the metals. So to remove those internal stress we do the normalizing process. So normalizing is used in some plate mills in the production of large forging such as railroad wheels and axle, some bar products. This process is less expensive than annealing process, so it is a bit economical as compared to annealing process. Then next we have quenching or hardening process. So quenching basically it's a rapid cooling process. Okay, first of all we heat the metal and within a fraction of second only we cool it in any other medium. So let us see what it is written. It is quenching is done to increase the strength and wear properties. One of the prerequisites for hardening is sufficient carbon and alloy content. Okay, to harden by quenching, a metal, usually steel or cast iron, must be heated into the austenitic crystal phase and then quickly cooled. Okay, so there is a phase in every metallic part. So out of that phase there is a one phase called austenitic crystal phase. So when a metal is heated to that phase, then it is cooled rapidly. This process is called quenching process. Depending on the alloy and other consideration such as concern for maximum hardness versus cracking and distortion, cooling may be done with forced air or other gas such as nitrogen, oil, polymer dissolved in water or brine solution. Okay, so these are the mediums of a quenching process. But there is one drawback of this process. One drawback of using this method by itself is that the metal becomes more brittle. Okay, so after making a metal quench, it becomes more brittle. This treatment is therefore typically followed by a tempering process, which is a heat process at another lower specific temperature to stress relieve the material and minimize the brittleness problem. So what we do is that after quenching process, a metal become more brittle. Okay, to remove that brittleness property, we do is a tempering process. There is a tempering process in which the brittleness property is reduced and the material regain its original strength. Next heat treatment process is case hardening. Okay, so case hardening is a process of hardening the surface of a metal, often a low carbon steel, by infusing element into the material surface, forming a thin layer of harder alloy. Okay, case hardening improves the wear resistance of machinery parts without affecting the tough interior of the part. Okay, next is austempering. Austempering is a heat treatment that is applied to ferrous material, most notably steel and ductile iron. In steel, it produces a bainite microstructure, whereas in cast iron, it produces a structure of acicular ferrite and high carbon stabilized austenitic known as also ferrite. It is primarily used to improve mechanical property or to reduce distortion. Okay, next is your tempering process. What we do in tempering process is it is carried out by preheating previously quenched or normalized steel to a temperature below the critical range, holding it and then cooling to obtain the desired mechanical properties. Now tempering is used to reduce the brittleness. Tempering is used to reduce the brittleness of quenched steel. The temperature chosen for tempering process directly impact the hardness of workpiece. The higher the temperature in the tempering process, the lower is the hardness. Next is your surface hardening process. Surface hardening process is a heat treatment process. It is used for treatment of steel by heat or mechanical means to increase the hardness of outer surface while the core remains relatively soft. Surface hardening steel is also valued for its low and superior flexibility in manufacturing. Okay, it is the oldest method, and surface hardening can be done by there are certain methods in surface hardening. Those are carburizing, in which steel is placed at high temperature of several hours in a carbonious environment. The carbon diffused in the surface of the steel renders it hardened. Okay, so in surface hardening, what we do is that we keep the material in a carbonate solution for several hours so that its hardenability is increased. Okay. Surface hardening can be also used for nitrating. Another method for surface hardening is also called as nitrating. Okay, it utilizes nitrogen and heat. Camshaft, fuel injection pump, and valve stem are typically hardened by this nitrating process. There is another hardening process known as flame hardening, okay, and induction hardening, in which high heat is applied for a short time by gas flame or high frequency electric current, and then the steel is immediately quenched. Are used generally for larger implement. And last is your osforming. Osforming, also known as low and high temperature thermochemical treatment, is a method used to increase the hardness and stubbornness of an alloy by simultaneously tempering, rapid cooling, deforming, and quenching to change its shape and refine the microstructure. As you can see in this diagram, Os-temperature furnace temperature using conventional heat treatment furnace, and the lower is next is osforming and HOP, rapid heating and tempering using HOP. Okay, these are the two osforming process. Okay, with that I come to the end of this slide. Thank you.